Hello once again, it is Matt Bisek here with your February Oregon Trio Association updates. This month I have 11 different things to touch on, but I'm going to try to keep them real tight and brief just because a lot of these are general updates and you can reference the email for direct links and more information on each of these items. First, the Factbook submission form. Thank you for those who have already submitted that. The link is still in the email. We are hoping to have all of these submitted by February 17th. That's Friday, February 17th, so that we can compile all that information before we go to policy seminar to meet with our legislators and give them the aggregate data. Do not worry if you hit your objectives or not. That is not something that matters or we even show anybody. We just aggregate all that information at a statewide level. The 2023 OTA membership invoices have been out. Thank you to those who have paid or already have checks on the way, but just being mindful of that invoice if you still have not paid that yet. If you need me to resend any documentation or invoices, please let me know, or if you want to check if yours have been received yet. The Professional Development Conference registration is still ongoing. You have until March 2nd to get your early bird registration in. That is also when the room block expires, so please do your best to have your registration in by that date. Again, it is April 4th through 6th, the main conference, with the 3rd being our pre-conferences. We have pre-conference workshops that are going to do a deep dive into legs and regs and look at some of those more gray areas and make it really conversational with some facilitated sessions. So we have different leaders for each one of those. The McNair programs, hopefully the three of you can show up. We have Denise Tambasco, who's from Idaho State University. David Ferguson is going to be doing the Upward Bound. He is from a California program out of Cal State Chico. Philip Dirks, who has retired, is going to be covering talent search. Both of those gentlemen also worked with Sonoma State University doing legs and regs training for each of these programs. And then for SSS, we have two of our own OTA folks, Angela Archer and Zach Jones, who are both peer reviewers with the NAIOP team, who are going to be covering this for SSS. So it is free to attend the pre-con. We really recommend everyone do that. And more details can be found on the website, including a detailed agenda, which we hope to have finalized within the next couple of weeks. If you're still on the fence about coming, hopefully we'll be able to provide details on all the sessions you'll be able to see if you attend. The Student Leadership Conference, which will be taking place at Chemeketa Community College on Saturday, April 22nd. I'm going to be opening that on February 14th. That's when registration is going to be opening. It is going to be no cost to you or your program. So the registration forms are basically going to be you reserving spots of students you think you're going to be able to attend. And we can collect that information. The actual student names much closer to the event itself. So you are just reserving spots. There is a limited number. We're still working on that exact number as we finalize room details that we have reserved. Additionally, we'll have hotel accommodations for Friday night before if any program needs to travel from further away. We also have funding to support that. So that is not going to be an added cost to Oregon Trio program. So on that registration form, there's going to be a place to indicate if you are looking for hotel accommodations that Friday night to do a visit. So keep an eye out for middle of February, but you can at least put that date on the calendar and be ready to reserve spots for your students. Maybe talk with staff and figure out how many you're looking to reserve or how many students you think you could get to attend. I also want to bring attention that the Dirks Trio Achiever Awards, these are our scholarship funds, so all the fundraising that we do at the conference with our auction items, any kind of Fred Meyer or Amazon Smile contributions, all go into our scholarship account. So each and every program can submit up to 2 students from each grant who can apply for these scholarships. The scholarship amounts are $500 and they are allocated by district, with 2 scholarships being sent out for each district. So in the email, you will see a link to the criteria and the required materials. So you have until March 1st to complete that. We tried to align that with some of the larger OSAC scholarship due dates. So you have the rest of the month to try to get your students to apply and figure out as a team who you are going to recommend for those. The Spring Last Mile Scholarship, that deadline is coming up. It is Friday, February 17th. So if you have those students who are running out of financial resources, are close to graduation within 45 credits, please have them take a look at the Last Mile Scholarship application. This can be a wonderful way to get anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 at the max of extra funding as students look to finish those final terms in pursuit of their degree. I also wanted to provide an update on the P3 citizenship waiver status. At this point, we have not had further communication from the Department of Ed. They move slowly. All of you probably know that. So we are just waiting to get a formal agreement, at which point we'll organize a statewide call so we can kind of strategize about if this agreement aligns with what we want and come to some consensus about how we're going to implement this citizenship waiver moving forward based on grant type. So keep an eye out for any updates. I'll be right on it as soon as I hear any information from the Department of Ed. Policy Seminar, the registration for attending that in DC got moved in terms of the early bird, so you have until the end of the February 3rd to get registered. I would love to know if you or anybody from your staff is going to be attending. That just helps us as a state get organized in terms of who's going to be there and who we're going to send to talk with our various legislators. So just send me a direct email if you or any of your staff will be attending, even if it's just virtually, and that way we can be in communication with you about how we're going to organize around doing our advocacy efforts. I wanted to give an update on the high school abroad program. The International Education Committee has finished reviewing all of our scoring applications. However, there is a two-part process. So we have our students scored, but now we're waiting to get the reviews back from the CIEE review team so that we can see what funds were awarded to our students from CIEE and then make final determinations so we can send as many students as possible to Ireland and Morocco. I'm hoping that will be completed by mid-February. And we can notify all those students if they have been selected or not to go abroad this summer. So just stay tuned, and I will be communicating directly with the students as soon as I find out that information, and our committee can come together and make our final decisions. I wanted to let everybody know that on the calendar out in the listserv, I put an invitation for a kind of program sharing, professional development that is going to be taking place on February 16th at 3 p.m. On this Zoom call, we're just going to be talking recruiting strategies. I've been hearing from a lot of you, particularly the talent search programs and some SSS, about the challenges that some folks have been facing in recruiting. So I'm going to bring forth some of the more innovative and creative ideas that I've heard and just kind of create a shared space where people can strategize about what the best way is to kind of fill the gap between the number they are funded to serve and where your current numbers are at. So I don't know that there's any magic key here that's going to unlock hundreds of students out of nowhere, but at bare minimum we can at least talk creative strategies, and hopefully you can attend and get something out of this that will hopefully improve your efforts to recruit the number of students you are funded to serve. Finally, I wanted to give an update on our state grant funding that we got that allowed this position even to be possible and a lot of the opportunities that we've seen to be possible. There is officially a bill that has been introduced into the state legislature. It is House Bill 2961. And similar to last time, it requests that the HEC generate $5 million in funding to support college access programs. This is going to be the bill that's going to be tied very closely to our state funding. There is some additional language in some committee reports that specifically tag some of that funding for Oregon Trio associations. So OTA and our board will be sending out some communications about the best ways in which you as trio professionals in the state can maybe support this and encourage our state legislators to support these efforts and just hear directly from you about the impacts that hopefully this funding and my role and all the work that OTA does to help your programs, we can just voice that to those people who get to vote this through. So we'll be following up with more information there. But if you are curious, we are now in the process. We officially have a piece of legislation tied to our funding. So House Bill 2961. With that, sorry for the rapid fire and so many things, but I'm hoping that this is just a helpful reminder of all the things that are out there. I appreciate everything that you all do. It's an honor to be able to be out here and support you and doing this work. So with that, I hope you have a good rest of your month, and I will see you soon. Take care.